Hey, sorry, I accidentally just turned off my computer.
I'm wondering.
For everybody tuning back in over on the YouTube live stream, welcome in to the 134th episode of One Liberal versus 100 Trump Supporters, Part 2. The reason why we're doing a Part 2 episode over on the YouTube stream is because I accidentally just turned off my fucking computer and ended the live.
Did you kill me off? You didn't like what I was saying? Is that the deal?
No, I literally just accidentally turned off the goddamn computer.
You're good.
Take it away.
No, I was just saying we were having a little bit of rebuttal on the difference between strategy and tactics, right? And all I was saying is, my point is, I agree with the strategy. Some of the tactics certainly are frustrating. Some of the tactics certainly have gone wrong. But I think the overarching strategy is correct. And I also think that the border has basically been shut down, right? You can't run a country with having thousands and thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants coming across the border, coming into cities, and then the cities having to basically figure out how to manage that process. It's not a sustainable model. And it's on the back of the taxpayers, right? And then, of course, when you try to offset all those costs of having all these immigrants come across the border and into the cities, and you have to pay for that, meanwhile, our citizens and all the other issues we have go unfunded. And so, that's the financial part of it. And then the other thing is, when you talk about just the pure cruelty of everything and basically the morality of it, it's actually immoral to have the borders open because there is no plan when you have millions of people come across the border and you just dump them in the cities. That's an awful solution. That's terrible.
Well, I got a question for you.
Real quick, I'm gonna go use the restroom, so I'll be right back.
Yeah.
While I'm using the restroom, I'm gonna leave Santana here to talk to you. But when I get back, I'm gonna go over the financial aspect of the plan that you just brought up, saying that it's been a drain on the economy, as well as I'll talk about the red herring that you just gave. Because no, the opposite of scaring undocumented entry away by being a fascist is not having open borders. But I'll talk about that with you when I get back. For everybody watching, I'm gonna go and leave y'all with Santana. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Bye bye.
What's up, Santana? Hit me, buddy.
What's going on? So I'm a little bit confused with your premise as far as it's immoral, right? I mean, if we're going to talk about morals, shouldn't we speak on how this Trump administration has targeted these undocumented immigrants and the way they went about it? No matter if we talk about them raiding churches or going out into farmers' fields, spraying mace and using these military style tactics to actually intimidate people. I mean, there's no morals when it comes to the Trump administration. I think that's the bigger problem.
Well, listen, like I told your counterpart there, I think the strategy is correct. I think the tactics, some of them I don't agree with. Certainly some of those issues can be absolutely debaed, but
wait, how could the strategy be correct if they've been unsuccessful? I mean, if you take a look at the rate.
Well, hang on.
Sure.
You don't have every case. So the cases you hear and the cases that are advertised, so to speak, and marketed through social media and through the news are only to basically throw red meat at the base, right? To get everybody riled up about, oh, look at how immoral this is. Look at how awful this is. It's a bunch of noise, man. I mean, if you've got, and I don't know the true number, right? Some people say it's 10 million. Some people say it's 20 million. Let's just say it's 5 million on the low end, okay? If it's 5 million, there's no possible way we can document through social media or through the media how that is actually being executed from the federal government.
So it's not even that, though. I'm talking about the actual rate that they're going about deportation, the amount of money that they're spending on deportation, and the fact that even they had the self-imposed 3,000 deportations a day, and they're unable to actually meet their own standards. I mean, that's why they're going through tactics like going to court hearings and trying to pick up, quote unquote, legal immigrants that way, because they're not able to be successful at the rate of the Biden administration, at the rate of the Obama administration, and they don't have an actual sound plan.
So are you telling me that the number of people they're deporting are less than what Obama was doing on an average?
Yes,
on a
Yes,
daily
the
basis?
actual rate is less not only than the Obama administration, but also the Biden administration. And the reason being, so one thing that, and I don't agree with the way that Barack Obama actually deported undocumented immigrants, but the reason why he was so successful is because the plan and the approach that he had, right? He took a life or FIFO, LIFO. Last one in, first one out. There we go. Last one in, first one out approach. And he also specifically made sure that he targeted the areas around the border instead of actually going out into like the different cities. You see Trump is actually targeting quote unquote blue cities. Well, Barack Obama actually targeted the areas around the border and targeted those people that had just got into the country. And that's why he was actually so successful with getting people out of the country so quick. But Donald Trump doesn't have an actual plan. And so much so that, you know, he's been having issues now with Tom Homan, which is his own self-appointed quote unquote border czar.
I don't know, man. I saw Holman on a couple talk shows yesterday on Sunday. He was pretty riled up and pretty motivated.
I'd love to hop in here when
Go
I
ahead.
when I have the opportunity.
You
go,
got it.
go.
Cool. I'm gonna run the immigration guillotine on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Let me hear
think that's the coined term for my argument against mass deportation here, because I just
Let's
think
hear
it
it.
is so abundantly strong. So I want you to tell me one specific way that mass deportation helps America, the American economy, or anybody in this country.
Mass deportation, I don't think does. I'm saying that the deportation of criminals. When I say criminals, I'm talking about hardened criminals, the guys and women who are actually.
That's
you know,
not what
raising
Trump is
hell.
doing. That's
I know,
not what
hang
he's
on.
doing. We're talking about what Trump is
Tactically-
doing. We are not here to debate what you ideologically support. If you do not ideologically support mass deportation of every undocumented immigrant in this country, good for you. I'm glad you are at least a semi-smart guy. But is that what Trump is doing? Absolutely not. And
So-
because that's not what Trump is doing, and the topic of conversation here is why do you support Trump? You just agree with me here that his immigration policy as it relates to the removal of undocumented immigrants is bad.
Well, I didn't say it's bad. Okay.
So
I think
then
the
why is it
tactics
good?
behind it. I think the tactics behind it needs to be refined. So
If you don't think mass deportation is bad, this implies that you either think mass deportation is permissible or good. So go ahead and
I don't think-
qualify
I
one
don't
positive
think-
outcome of mass deportation to argue that it's either permissible or good.
no, the mass deportation is not good, and I'll tell you a couple
So
reasons
then
why.
it's bad, right?
Hang on.
I just want to know, is it good, bad? Which one is it? Is it
Hang
a
on.
policy that helps this country, or is it a policy
No,
that
no,
hurts
no,
this
no.
country? Which one?
It's-
I want you to be specific. I'll let you talk and I'll stop the interruptions after I get a very clear response to that question. Do
All right,
you
well, you're
believe
not gonna get a
that
clear
Donald
answer
Trump's
because-
mass deportation policy is policy that helps America, or is it policy that hurts America? We need to know which one of these two categories you think his policy of mass deportation falls under.
It's not a yes or no answer.
I
Sorry.
didn't ask you for a yes or no answer. I asked
It's
you
not-
for a category answer of saying, do you categorize this policy as something that helps this country overall, or do you categorize this policy as something that hurts this country overall? Which one of the two categories does this policy fall under?
Yet to be seen, right? So we're only 6 months in. So here's the complex challenge that we have. Before you were even born, before either of you guys were born, we had a problem with this same topic.
Come on,
This
man.
goes-
Come on,
Hang
man.
on. No, no,
I'm
no, no.
interrupting you because of how disingenuous I find this.
No, this is not disingenuous.
We
Hang on.
are very far into my stream, and I think you are the first guest that I have definitely interrupted. Now, the reason why I'm definitely interrupted you is because we are here to discuss why you support Trump. You bring up mass deportation. I ask you to very clearly tell us if you think that's policy that falls under the category of helping America or hurting America. You say it's yet to be seen, so in other words, you're agnostic on it. You don't know. And now you want to talk about issues that have persisted in this country before Trump was president as a little bit of a deflection. So if you're unsure of the impact of mass deportation on this country and you can't categorize it as overall good policy or overall bad policy, then it's not going to be a motivation towards why you think he's a good president. obviously, you're going to say that Trump is a good president because you think he's doing good things for this country. You're not going to think he's a good president because he's doing things for this country that might be good or might be bad. So very specifically, what are the good things he's doing for this country? Why do you support him? What are the policies or motivations that you categorize as good for America that Donald Trump is doing or Donald Trump has done or Donald Trump represents?
Well, do you want to continue this conversation on immigration?
I think that conversation ended the moment that you told us you don't know if it's good or bad.
No. So it's too early to tell. It's only 6 months into his term.
So the
You're not-
conversation's over because you can't
No.
categorize this as a good thing.
Well, hang on a second. Yes, I can. The strategy is good. The tactics behind it are problematic.
So
Like I
overall,
said.
you do categorize this as a policy that's good for America, mass deportation. That is your position.
See, you're saying mass deportation, and I don't agree with that term.
Well, I mean, but that's the term that they've used. That's literally the Trump administration. They ran on mass deportation. That's been their term.
Then call it whatever you want. I'm describing the removal of all undocumented immigrants from this country elsewhere. That's what they're doing. So
Yes.
this operation, is it overall good or overall bad? Tell us.
Again, I'm going to tell you for probably the third or fourth time. I know
That's
you
too early to know, right?
Too early to know, but let
Then
me
it's just
explain.
not relevant to why you think he's a good president. It
No,
can't be
because,
relevant.
because no, it's very relevant. I agree with stopping immigrants from coming across the border illegally, which is what they did.
But that's
Millions of
not going to be the deportation operation. That's going to be the policy specific to handling the southern border. So I
that's
think
the
that a lot of
policy of
people,
handling the southern border.
I
Now-
think that a lot of people confuse deportation policy to policy to handle the southern border, but they're distinct and they're different. So
now
I'm-
you have-
so
now
now
you have-
so now you're specifically talking about policy to handle the southern border. So okay,
hang on.
sounds good.
Step one-
No. I want to ask
step
you. I
one,
want to ask you a
secure
very
the
clear
border.
question. What is Donald Trump's policy to secure the southern border? What is it?
Shut it down.
How shut it down as a phrase? What is the specific policy?
If you want to come into America, you got to do it the right way.
That's another phrase that's not describing any policy or any executive orders, which I want you to describe either the policy pushed through Congress or the executive orders that he has signed into law to effectively shut down the southern border that you support. That is what I'm asking you for.
Well, he put Holman in charge, as well as Homeland Security, to basically stop the illegal immigration of people coming across the border. That's
So
a fact.
then what has Homeland Security done or what has Holman done to stop that immigration into this country? What is it?
You mean from a tactical perspective?
From a pragmatic perspective, what have they actually done? What have they changed in the operation of the southern border to prevent undocumented entry that you support? I'm asking you for the specifics.
Well, the first
We're
thing
getting
they
down
did
to
was
the brass tacks of
well,
things.
the first thing they did was they negotiated with Mexico and said, "Hey, stop letting people flow into our country."
Okay, and what did Mexico do that has helped? What have they done?
They've absolutely helped
By doing what?
by stopping it, by holding people. in
How
Mexico.
have they stopped it?
Well, I'm not down there. I have no idea how they did it.
So then ultimately, like you just have rhetoric with no substance.
No, we have rhetoric with actual reports coming out of the media that says, "Hey, this is stopped. Now it's down to very minimal people coming across the border every day."
So,
True,
but the big issue here is now you're just making a correlation causation fallacy. You're saying that Donald Trump said he wants to stop it, and seemingly the crossings have decreased. So that means he decreased the crossings. Well, what about this? How can we differentiate between your theory here that he's implemented solid and sound policy to regulate the inflow of undocumented immigrants over the southern border that is effective for this country, and maybe my theory that what has caused a very vast decrease in undocumented entry is a reorganization of the incentive structures for undocumented entry, scaring them away by telling them that they'll essentially have a lower quality of life because there's so many undocumented immigrants in this country that are having their human and constitutional rights violated. Now, if my theory is right, well, then obviously nobody should support what he's done to slow undocumented entry. It's short-term, it's fascist, and it demonstrates a glaring disdain for human rights. Nobody should support that. So you can't rule out my theory here unless you could describe the very specific actions and steps the Trump administration has taken, if that's even a word, has undergone, as implemented into law to reduce undocumented entry. And because you can't do that, you can't can't rule my theory out. Because you can't rule my theory out, at the very minimum, you must remain agnostic on the efficacy of the Trump admin and their management of the southern border. Taken. Sorry, guys.
Also, I just want to say one other quick thing. The thing that really validates what Dean is speaking to, and I'm sorry, it contradicts specifically the point that you're trying to make, is we can, not only are we talking about the crossings at the border, but you can look at the tourism numbers, right? Tourism is down within the United States as well, and that's because the United States overall, the ranking as far as global standing has been downgraded, and other countries are telling their citizens don't travel to the United States.
I don't
So-
think it has to do with immigration policy. I think that has to do with tariffs.
No. It has nothing to do with tariffs. I mean, like you can look this up. Our actual standing in the world has been downgraded overall, and therefore the actual tourism into the United States has decreased as well. So you have cities taking major damage, and then even you can look at the quote unquote legal crossings for people that just come into the country for leisure. It's down as well. So it's all connected to the approach that the administration is taking when it comes to getting people in the country. It's having that impact on another industry that they did not expect.
We're gonna go to give you the mic here because we've been preaching. But at the end of the day, I've given you a hypothesis, a theory that what is reduced entry is Donald Trump's disdain for human rights.
No,
And Santana has now given supporting evidence for that theory.
yeah.
You are positing another theory that he's implemented effective solutions to reduce undocumented entry. However, you don't have supporting evidence for your theory. The supporting evidence you lack would be, what has he literally done? What are the directives of Homeland Security that he's updated? What are the executive orders that he signed into law? What actionable steps has the Mexican government taken? You don't have any of that supporting evidence for your theory. The supporting evidence for our theory is a mass reduction in tourism, travel for leisure, etc., because of the administration's disdain for non-citizens or non-residents. So in other words, our theory, empirically speaking, is more likely to be true than yours. We have evidence. You don't. But we've been preaching. I'm going to let you talk.
I think he's trying to go find his evidence.
Yeah, BCP, by the way, when you're not on the TikTok app, we can't hear you. And while we're waiting on him to come back, Anna, thank you for the $20 super chat over on YouTube. Anna says, thank you for always staying informed and presenting solid evidence. Your patience with MAGA supporters and willingness to face disrespect to educate others on amnesty, reproductive rights, and Trump's harm is truly admirable. Anna, I really appreciate you, not only for your words, but also the $20 donation. I love what I do. You know, it can be a bit rough at times, but I mean, I think that we're seeing a lot better of a response from these people with the way that I've been handling myself the last couple of days, with a little bit more respect, humanity, etc. towards them. I'd say that things have definitely been a little bit nicer.
You know what's funny?
Huh.
My wife just told me the other day, said, you see how Dean actually talks to these people? You need to make sure you speak to them like that. Because apparently, you know, I drop the B word a little too much when I get riled up, so...
No, I've just been really working on like not getting riled up at all. You know, like I'm like I don't know. You know, like everybody knows the story of, you know, what happened a while back with the husband and the wife and whatnot. You know, I've given my stance on that. You know, like I didn't dox them like in accordance with the legal definition. You know, like really shitting husband and wife that were demonstrating very, very strong red flags. But like still, yeah, you know, like I've just been thinking about my response to that. And you know, how I think that I dropped the ball with my response. And I've just been really putting a conscious effort into like managing myself, my statements, my words, and the way that I treat these guests on live, like pretty strongly after that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's a positive thing.
Right. No, it is. And, you know, like something else is, you know, of course we have like 11,000 people on the live right now. That's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot more than 11,000 people that see clips of me on the internet and whatnot. And ultimately, the only clips that hit the For You page or the Google search results of like 90% of people in politics on the internet are going to be the clips where I'm crashing out about the anxiety pin or supposedly doxing an innocent father. You know what I mean? Shit like that. And
Yeah.
I got to keep, like shit like that to like a bare minimum or just not exist at all. And like always be conscious of every single word that comes out of my mouth. Not just so we could have more productive conversations on these lives, but also so, I'm not positioned as like some leftist lolcow on the internet.
Yeah. 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 BCP, you said that you're back. You had a call.
I did have a call. Yeah, a little bit of work. So I can still hear you guys.
Okay. The floor is yours.
So, you guys make a good point about you guys are well versed and well researched on why you think this is an inhumane situation. But again, the strategy of deporting illegals back to their country is a good thing for the United States. And I know you're
Bruh,
cracking.
I'm pissed at you. I'm actually pissed.
Oh yeah, too bad.
I'm
The
so pissed at
tactics
you.
behind-
No. 1 second. I'm so pissed at you because we very clearly made a distinction insofar as what we're debating. I thought we agreed that we're debating what has been implemented at the southern border to prevent undocumented entry. I gave you my theory about what is reduced undocumented entry. I even explained to you how my theory has supporting evidence, yours doesn't.
Yeah,
You've now
yeah,
ignored
yeah.
all that. And now you're not just ignoring that, but you're also deflecting and changing the topic of conversation back to mass deportation. I'm pissed off at you. You ignored
Well, I
me,
wasn't,
and now
you
you're
never
deflecting.
really gave me a chance to really finish the whole thought process.
Just go on, but don't ignore and deflect my explanation of my theory, how the Trump administration has wrongfully reduced undocumented entry compared to your theory, and how I have more evidence and how you have no evidence. I want you to specifically respond to that with a head-on addressment and no deflection.
Well, I'll try not to deflect. So the fact is you have what they call the dreamers, right? And if you have a child who was born here from illegal parents, for example, that person's a citizen, correct? So what do you do with those parents? Especially because I've been around a little longer than you guys. I know a lot of these folks who are valuable to the community. They never.
Wait, how old are you, BCP?
I'm going to be 60 this year.
Okay.
Okay. I run a business. I've employed hundreds of people, made lots of people lots of money in my career. Okay. So, and I've hired a lot of blue collar people in my lifetime as well. And some of them are undocumented, quite frankly, and I didn't even know, right? So I think that the sweep up of guys like that, what they call collateral damage is just, it's awful because you're breaking up families. However,
You're still not
when you
responding.
look hang on a second there, big guy. When you get to the fact that you have gang members and criminals and things of that nature that came across the border and they came into our cities raising hell, killing people and making trouble, there's no clean way to sweep all that up. And you're going to have collateral damage, right? And that is what it is. And so say that again.
You're still not responding.
I'm responding.
What do you think you're supposed to be responding to?
I'm giving you an
Listen, I
I'm
understand that
giving
you're
you an
laughing, but
explanation.
I understand that you're laughing. I'm being serious. What do you think you're supposed to be responding
I'm giving you logic behind
Dude,
your premise of
to?
why you support
Listen to what I'm
Trump.
saying. What do you think you're supposed to be responding to?
I'm responding to how do you still support Trump?
That's not what you're supposed to be responding to. What you're supposed to be responding to is you made the claim that the Trump administration has effectively reduced undocumented immigration into America through a revisioning of Homeland Security, Tom Homan, and maybe some executive orders to more tightly enforce Border Patrol and security along the southern border, alongside some involvement of the Mexican government to reduce undocumented entry. And you're supposed to be responding to how I was able to point out how your theory has no supporting evidence, and how my theory that undocumented immigrants have been scared scared of undocumented entry because of Trump's disdain for human rights. And the supporting evidence for that theory being, well, his disdain towards human rights enumerated with cases like Abrigo Garcia or the Venezuelan immigrants, or even some of the people at Alligator Alcatraz, alongside the fact that we've seen a significant reduction in all other forms of entry not pertaining to residents or citizens, such as tourism or leisurely travel. And I want you to specifically respond to the fact how you were able to give any supporting evidence for your theory. Like, you couldn't name the EOs, you couldn't name what the Mexican government is doing, you couldn't name what Tom Homan or Homeland Security are specifically doing for your theory. But I was able to give you the supporting evidence for my theory, making my theory more likely to be true. That's what I want you to be responding to. Please respond to it.
Remain in Mexico is the biggest reason, right? That's got to be one of the biggest reasons. And
Okay.
of course, when
Now
you
you're
start
starting
to
to
clean up, when you start to clean up the cities, as you said, you are going to then other people are going to look at it and go, "Hey, man, I don't want to go to the United States because I'm going to get messed with, and I don't want to get messed with."
Okay. So now you've tried to give supporting evidence for your theory of the adequate implementation of border security being remain in Mexico. Answer this. What is a remain in Mexico policy?
What is it in detail? I have no idea.
Well, exactly. So you shouldn't be just saying words that you don't know. Okay.
No,
So the
hang
remain in
on a
Mexico
second
policy,
there, big guy.
the remain in Mexico policy, the remain in Mexico
I don't know
policy,
what-
the remain in Mexico
word by-
policy. One moment. The remain in Mexico policy has no relevance, no bearing, and no relation to a reduction of undocumented immigration into America. Why is that? Because the remain in Mexico policy has nothing to do with undocumented immigrants. The remain in Mexico policy applies to legal immigrants, asylum seekers. So now that we understand that that is not supporting evidence for your theory, because that has no bearing nor relevance to undocumented immigrants, please revisit my question. Acknowledge that I was able to give a theory insofar as what has immorally caused a reduction of undocumented entry, and I've given you more than sufficient supporting evidence. And your theory that he has practically done a good job at a reduction of undocumented entry through policy and work with Tom Homan and Homeland Security and the Mexican government has no supporting evidence.
How do we know? Maybe we should get Tom Holman on this call. I'm sure he could pretty much rattle off exactly what he's doing.
Is this a concession that you don't have any supporting evidence for your theory, and you cannot
Well, I'm sure I could
report
research
to the, supporting evidence for mine?
Yeah, well, it's not a concession. I think that the proof that things have settled down, and the proof that there is, according to the news reports, which are mostly left leaning, that there is less people coming across the border is all the proof that we need.
But the proof is it's literally supported by the things that we're saying, not the things that you're saying, right? I mean, like,
Right.
that's the issue.
Right.
Well, I think
right. Like
that,
you're saying that less undocumented border crossings would be an expected consequence of your theory, thereby making your theory more likely to be true. Sure, that does grant some reason to believe your theory. However, the reason that it doesn't grant sufficient reason to believe your theory is because that would also be an expected consequence of my theory of he's scaring the entry away by violating human rights. So
Well, I don't think he's- so hang on.
because
You
that
say he
because
violates
that
human
outcome of less entry gives some reason to support both my theory and your own, right? You don't have enough reason to outrule my theory and believe your own. Do you see what I mean here? How we're
No,
just
I do.
having a pragmatic conversation
I do.
about
I
how
do.
we could apply objective forms of reasoning with the use of evidence to critically think here.
I actually think you're making my point as well. I do believe what you said. Part of it is I don't think they're violating human rights. Okay, I think that's I think that's exaggeration of what's really happening.
Wait,
okay?
wait. You think that it's an exaggeration that
Yeah.
they are okay? So when
do.
there are multiple sources, because I heard Dean speak to you about the actual the documentation as far as the people being deported, but like I'll just say Alligator Alcatraz. Right? I mean, like they've already started to report as far as the people being packed into the same area, the
Who?
fact that they don't have
Who?
access.
Who?
There are multiple elected officials that have traveled
Yeah.
there.
I would love to see
That's-
the videos. I heard the
I'm just gonna
congresswoman,
deny
I forget her name, from
gonna-
Florida. It was a little snippet on her. Listen, I think you guys get caught up into the noise.
Right, you're just going to deny the noise, right? No, we
No, no,
shouldn't
no.
get caught up into the quote
I'm
unquote
going to
noise if that noise
decipher
is
the
human rights
noise,
violation.
similar to human rights. Like,
I could give you a significantly more undeniable example.
okay, please do.
Yeah, because you're just going to listen to what Santana says about alligator Alcatraz, and you're just going to deny it with no reason. But you know what you can't deny it with no reason is that undocumented immigrants, at least in some part, have been being denied due process. Okay, because courts have ruled on that, and due process is a human right.
Now it's a stretch.
What's
So
a stretch about that? If we lived in a dystopian nightmare society
It's
where we
more
took
of a
away due, no,
legal-
listen.
That's a legal issue. So let me ask
Due
you
process is both a legal right and a human right. Think about it. If we lived in a dystopian nightmare society where nobody had a legal right to due process, and we'd just be sentencing people to death and putting them in jail for life on the basis of circumstantial evidence, even the acknowledgement of circumstantial evidence is some due process, so no evidence at all is what I truly meant to say. We would absolutely say this is a dystopian nightmare society inflamed with human rights violations, right?
I would certainly question the legitimacy of any country or any government that was doing that.
So be clear with a yes or no. Would this be a dystopian nightmare society inflamed with human rights violations because nobody has this legal right to due process?
Sure, it would be, but it's
Right,
not.
right. So do we see how due process, and you just conceded there, is both a legal right and a human right?
Well,
You
what you're
conceded. You just
insinuating-
conceded, right?
What you're insinuating
You
is
didn't
nobody's
concede?
due process.
Wait. If you don't think that that due
Just
process
because
is a human
I
right,
agree
well, one
with a
second. One second.
statement- just
If you,
because I
so,
agree
do
with
you
one of the
agree or do you
statements
disagree that due
that-
process is a human right now?
No, I think due process is more of a legal right.
Okay, so
Now,
then
you're
we'll
classifying it as
revisit the
human right.
analogy that I just gave you. If there was a dystopian nightmare society that gave none of their citizens a legal right to due process, and people were being locked up for life and sentenced to death with no evidence because they don't have that legal right to due process, would you say this is a society with human rights violations?
I would say it would be like living in countries I've visited.
You're
that
not
are-
answering my question. Would you say this is a society with human rights violations? Yes or no?
It depends on the scale of what you're talking about
The
here. I
scale
think-
actually shouldn't matter. You just say there's some human rights violations, one human rights violations, or thousands or millions. The scale doesn't matter. So is this a society with human rights violations? Yes or no?
No, I think you're stretching it. I really do.
So
You're
I
really
just want to
stretching-
clarify, your answer is no. If people in a society have lost their legal right to due process and they're being locked up for life and sentenced to death with no evidence because they don't have that right to due process, that is not a human rights violations according to you. Yes?
No, listen, you're trying to basically imply that
It's
the
not an
people-
implication, it is a question, and the question specifically is drawing out your true thoughts, and if you view due process as a human rights violation, stop doing the tippity-tap dance around the point, answer head on. There is a society. People in this society have lost their legal right to due process. In the society, because people have lost their legal right to due process, people are being locked up in prison for life and sentenced to death with no evidence and no court proceedings, simply on the command of one with authority. Are these human rights violations, yes or no?
that would certainly, under that specific definition, that would absolutely qualify as that, yes.
So then you absolutely have conceded and agreed that due process is a human right. Because you've absolutely conceded and agreed that due process is a human right, in the many examples where Donald Trump has been ruled on by a judge and courts as violating the legal right to due process of undocumented immigrants, it is your thought that he has also violated their human right of due process. Thank you for the concession. Now that we've agreed that Donald Trump has been violating the human right of due process of undocumented
I
immigrants,
know where it's
my
going.
point is clear.
Layup. It's an easy layup for you. All those are going to be appealed, and he's probably going to win them all, as you know, in the courts. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're stretching the whole. You're
Okay.
stretching
Okay.
it.
Now you're saying
stretching
that they're all going to be appealed. Go ahead and give me one specific case which you believe will be appealed, and give me your specific reason why it will be appealed. I think that this question has gagged you. You're not going to be able to answer it, and the reason you're not going to be able to answer it is because you said that with no reason, only rhetoric, because you're a loyalist for Trump till the end. But let's go back to the question. Give me one specific example where a judge has ruled that Donald Trump has violated the due process of an undocumented immigrant. Then give me your specific and clear reason why you believe that decision will be appealed. Name it right now.
I don't have the time to do all that type of research. I'm sorry. Okay.
So in other
I
words, you have
a job.
no
I
reason
run
to
a
believe your
business. I run a
baseless,
business. I
nonsensical
appreciate
claim
your
that all of these
enthusiasm.
rulings are going to be
I
overappealed.
appreciate your enthusiasm and what you're doing here.
But the fact of the matter is,
So you just
trying to
conceded that
stretch
you have
it and
absolutely no reason, zero reason at all, apart from your emotions to believe that all of these cases are going to be appealed. You just said that to say it. You didn't say that because it's true. You didn't say that because there's evidence to indicate that it might be true. You literally said that to attempt to get a leg up in a debate that you're so obviously losing because your opponent acquaints himself with reason, fact, and
I
logic,
didn't know
and
we
you
were
do
in
not.
debate. Are we debating?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. I thought we were having a conversation. Um, listen, what was your first name again?
Dean.
Dean. I understand how you feel and how you can see things through this type of prism. I'm just telling
Through the prism
you
of reason, fact, and logic. I don't think you
No,
can understand
I'm just,
that.
no, I really can't because I've been around here and I've been in really bad places in this world and I've seen things much, much worse than what you guys are experiencing here.
Yeah, I hear you, right? But your anecdotal experiences, I'm not trying to deny your lived experiences, but you don't know either one of our lived experiences. I mean, I know you may think that you do. I'm almost 40, so I'm way older than Dean.
Oh, I
and
can't see you. You're 40, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have completely different lived experiences. But also, we're not speaking on an individual basis. We're talking about actual factual information that can be verified and backed up. That's the problem. We're not talking about, us being around and seeing those things. We're talking about what we can quantify. And there's actual numbers to back up the things that we're saying.
Right.
but
And unfortunately, at this point, sir, you've made the ultimate concession. You have now conceded that you just simply don't have evidence to back up the words that are coming out of your mouth. Now, because you made that obvious concession, I feel like I want to move on to my next guess. Because what is the point of me and Santana wasting our time talking to somebody that's just speaking to speak, not speaking to convey knowledge or truth?
Wow, Dean, you are a special individual. I wish you guys all the luck in the world. If I did some research on these specifics, and if this was a true debate, I would prepare for the debate, and it would be a much more entertaining, maybe.
One of my mods kicked him. Literally, one of my mods kicked him. So the mod that just kicked him, I have never seen that moderator kick anybody from my live ever before.
God.
So this person has been a moderator for me for like a year and a half now. That mod has literally never done that before. That was the very first time that mod has ever done that. Ever before. That's funny. I'll let it slide, man. But no, seriously, to that last guess, I was hard on you. And I think I was hard on you with good reason. Okay? Because to support these policies, these ideas, these agendas, these platforms, these actions in this country with no reason at all, no specifics, no evidence, it is just letting the boot stomp. Okay? That's all it's doing. The way that we stop the boot from stomping, the way that we stop the rights violations, the way that we actually progress our country and make it better, right, is to first ridicule those that do not instantiate their beliefs with reason, fact, or logic, because that is the door opener to fascism, and promote an acceptance of using forms of critical thought and objective-based reasoning through evidence to perceive the world around us. So I was hard on you. I should have been hard on you. And I truly do hope that incentivizes you to try to find reason for what you believe in. Let's go to move on to the next guest, Mary Roberts. If you're in that queue, make sure that you support Trump. As well as Stephanie. Thank you for the $20 super chat over on YouTube, saying I love you so much and you're a true prodigy. Stephanie, that is so fucking kind. Can we get 200 Stephanie W's down below? As well as welcome in Mary. Do you support Trump? Mary's not even here. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Everybody show some love to Stephanie, as well as Dennis. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Super Chat. Holy crap, Dennis. Can we get 500? Dennis is down below for the $50 donation on Super Chat. Dennis says, keep bringing the logic, Dean. It's important to know it still exists. It is important to know that it still exists. It is so incredibly fucking important. Thank you, Dennis, for the $50. As well as Lydia with the $20 over on Venmo for the live debates. Thank you, Lydia. Show some love to Lydia down below for her support. As well as Owen with the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you, Owen. Show some love to Owen down below for the $20. Let's get 200 Owen W's. As well as 150 Aris W's for the $10 over on Venmo 15 minutes ago. Thank you. As well as, oh my God, yo, dude, Christina, thank you for the $40 over on PayPal. Let's get 400 Christina W's down below. Christina says he's also deporting indigenous people from reservations, so it's actually really bad. I've not heard that claim before. I'm going to look into that one, because if that's true, that's crazy.
Well, you need to look up the. Did you see the 8 guys that they deported and that were in like the cargo container heading to the South Sudan?
No, I'll have to look
It's
into that.
it's really bad. It's a lot.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet. I'll have to do my research. And then one last donation here. Jay once again with another $125 donation over on PayPal. Can we get 1,500 JWs in the comment section? Like, please. Thank you, Jay, for the love. That is so insane. I seriously really appreciate it. Let's get like 1 billion JWs in the comment section right now. Thank you for the $125. As well as Sarion, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
Hi, Dean. So I'm actually from the UK, but
Sorry, man.
I'm
I appreciate you for patiently waiting. I should have repeated the rules. You got to be an American adult that supports Trump. I really do appreciate you for patiently waiting, and I feel bad that I have to kick you after you patiently waited. My bad, bro. We're gonna get that next guest up here. Make sure if you're in that queue that you're an American adult that supports Trump, that wants to come up here and debate. If you want to support me because you like what you see, you enjoy watching the stream, you want to support the stream, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. Get 100% of the proceeds over there, and you get a notification on the top of this phone where I could read your name and any and all attached messages. You could also find the VNP and the pin message over on YouTube. Also, make sure to show some love to our great co-host Santana down here. Now, welcome in Todd. Mr. Todd, do you support Trump?
I do support Trump. Actually, I do.
I don't know why I lagged there. I'm back for everybody on TikTok. That was a weird little lag spike. Okay, Mr. Todd, how old are you?
I'm only 18, actually. I'm only 18.
What year were you born in?
Fuck me in my ass. Yeah, that's my bad, Dad.
What the
That's my
hell? Okay. See you later. Yeah, we had a little bit of a lag spike there. Don't worry. I know about those lag spikes when they happen. We're going to go to get that next guest, Emerald, up in here. Everybody just give us a minute to get Emerald loaded into the box. What's up, Emerald? How old are you?
Do you know who Tickle Tipson is?
No, I don't, and I don't want to know either. Okay, we're going to go to get Trump Goat 24 loaded into the stream. We got Trump Goat 24 connected. Jesus Christ, cringe. Bro, is it happening again? Oh my God. Hey, what's up, Trump Goat 24? Are you MAGA? Nah, you're not MAGA. Okay, for the 7.2 thousand people watching this stream right now, we just don't even have any debates. I don't know what to tell y'all. So, Teddy, you want to help try to get somebody up here? I mean, I just feel like we're not going to be able to find anybody, but we'll try.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, I'm not a mod on this account.
Lennon, thank you so much for the Leon the Kitten. I appreciate you for the love, Lennon. Thank you so much, Lennon. I'll try to get you added as a mod, Santana. What's up, Cooper? Do you support Trump?
Hey, I just want to kind of talk to you about that.
Sorry, Cooper. Your mic is really bad.
That's awesome.
Hi, Ellie. Do you support Trump? Oh, Ellie left. Moving on to the next guest, we got Rethread loaded up in. Everybody just do be patient while we try to get Rethread loaded up in here. All right, everybody, do be patient. Hello, Rethread. Do you support Trump?
Do you support fucking children? Because that's what you do.
Fuck? Dude, what a strange way to approach somebody that disagrees with you politically. Oh,
Your guest box is weird.
Oh, you don't like Trump? Guess what? You literally engage in child rape. That was that guy's argument.
Oh, your guest box is weird.
And the fact that that's a first, like, and the fact that that's the first thing that comes to his mind is crazy too. Like, why is that the first thing that comes to his mind? You know what I mean? Why is that? That has never been the first thing that has come to my mind when I've been faced with a Trump supporter. Why is that the first thing that comes to his mind when he's faced with a liberal? What a weirdo.
Pam, thank you for the balloons.
What's up, OSCAT? Do you support Trump? No, they're not even here. Moving on to the next guest. Everyone do be patient. We're going to try to get Donald Trump Goat 24 up in here. Yeah, what a weirdo. That is seriously strange. That is seriously strange.
That's their go-to. I mean, like, that's what they have. That's what they do.
Honestly, I'm going to disagree with you there, Santana. I rarely hear that one. So when you say they, like referring to like a large group of people on the right,
I apologize.
Like that one is like especially weird. That like
the weird is their go-to. Maybe not that weird, but definitely weird.
Yeah, that one is like a 1 in a million type of response from a Trump supporter towards a liberal. Strange shit, guys. Strange shit. Very, very strange shit. Erica, thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you, Erica. Oh my God, let's get 500 Erica W's down below in that chat, y'all. Erica says, hot damn, Dean isn't just cooking this evening. He's braising, smoking, basting, and sauteing and frying. Keep it up. Your introspection and eagerness to do better is exactly what we as fellow human beings need more of. Well, Erica, I appreciate you for following along in the crazy journey that we've had. I know that you've been watching for a while, and I appreciate your kind words. If we could please get 500 Erica W's down below in that chat, that would be great. Thank you for the love, Erica. As well as Jada, G-A-D-A, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo, and as a PhD student in chemistry, I love listening and learning this political space from you. Thank you for making, and we got the live access removed because of too many violations. Jada says, thank you for making my day schooling these MAGA cultists. Well, thank you for the love and kindness, Jada. That's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. All right, it looks like we got our live guest access restricted for how many days? For 3 days. So we're going to go ahead and appeal that ban. Hopefully the appeal will go through. If the appeal goes through, we'll have to restart the live stream and get that access back. We'll see, though. We'll see. We should be able to get that to go through here pretty quickly. I don't know. It could be denied, though. Sometimes those bans get denied. What's the over-under? We like to play this game every time. What is the over-under? What's the over-under? Do you think that appeal will get approved or denied, everybody? Do you think that appeal will get approved or denied? We're actually going to go ahead and start a poll over in the live stream. Let's see. Will the appeal get approved? Question mark. Yes or no. Let's see what the over-under is over on YouTube. We're also going to see what the over-under is over on TikTok by starting a poll. Poll, gift, and live vote. Here we go. All right. Put a smiley face in the chat if you think the appeal will get approved. Put a sad face in the chat if you think the appeal will not get approved. Smiley face is yes. Sad face is no. Let's see. Let's see who's winning. Okay. A lot of people over on TikTok are pretty optimistic that it will get appealed. Looks like it's relatively the same split over on YouTube. It looks like people are a little bit more confident that that ban will get appealed over on YouTube than TikTok. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. As well as, hey, Sarah, thank you for Emily, thank you for the $10 on Super Chat, saying, I absolutely love you, Dean. Got my whole friend group watching you, and you were such an inspiration for somebody aspiring to go into politics. We love you, Dean. Keep doing good. Well, thank you, Emily, and Emily's friends. Thank you. Okay, we have word back on the appeal. I haven't looked at it yet. I haven't looked at the word back on the appeal yet. Everybody, drum roll, please. We are about to learn if we'll be able to live stream off of this account for the next 3 days, or if we are going to be pushed to our third account. Appeal approved! Let's go! For those that took the over, you guys were right. The appeal was approved. Let's get some fucking W's in the live chat. Let's get some W's in the live chat. Hell yes. I love it when TikTok appeals my bans. That is the most satisfying feeling in the world. So when I first started to do these live streams and I'd get banned, I would have a crash out over it, everybody. It would impact me so much. But after doing this for 2 years, I'm pretty indifferent to it. It's just kind of you roll with the punches type of thing. And I'm very excited that we got, but then yet when our bans do go through and we do get it appealed, it always really excites me. It makes me very happy. Makes me very, 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 very happy. I'm actually going to check to see if we got live access back on the main yet. Nope, that one's still down too. Okay. All right, for everybody watching the stream, y'all, I need to restart it on TikTok. Unfortunately, that is, the only way for us to get the live access back. Wait, but I think there's actually something I wanted to try first. So I'm going to shut down the TikTok app from my task manager. And I think if I do that, I should be able to reboot the software without technically ending the stream. So it might say that I'm paused here for a second. Just know that's what I want because I'm supposed to be rebooting the TikTok live studio. Now, it's also possible that the stream will just end. If the stream just ends, I'll be back on in a second. BRB. Let's see if it ends. So I just automatically shut it down. It actually doesn't look like the stream is ending. No way. Is this a fix? Oh, it is. Yo! Did we do it? Did we do it, y'all? Oh, we did! We did do it! And I got re-access to the guest requests. That's the way to do it. Okay. So I figured out how to regain access. Linen! With the lion! Holy fuck! Linen! Dude! Linen. Thank you for the lion. Holy shit, dude. Thank you so much, Linen. Can we get like 1,000 Linen W's down below for that crazy ass gift? Thank you, Linen. You are awesome. Holy fuck. Thank you so much, Linen. That is just phenomenal. Thank you so much. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Age, please.
19.
And your name is Trump Goat, Donald Goat Trump 24.
Yes, because he's a goat.
Oh, dude, no. What? Okay, so you're like
You like my name?
Nah, it's cringe, dude. It's cringe. Like, how would you feel if you saw somebody and their name was Kamala Goat Harris 24?
I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, I don't agree because she's not the goat, but
Okay, all right. I feel like we're definitely talking to a little bit of a cult member here. We'll see, though. Why do you support this abomination of a president?
okay. I feel like he's America first, unlike Kamala.
Kamala. Is how you pronounce her name, not Kamala.
Kamala, okay.
Yeah, so he's kind of American last. First, he's a shill for Israel. Second, his policy destroys this country. How the hell do you believe, or why the hell do you believe that he puts America first?
Well, he didn't give trillions to Iran like Obama and Biden.
Do you think that it's in the American first, like, security, national security interest to, like, prevent Iran from, like, possessing nukes? Is that in American first interest?
No.
It's not in American first interest to prevent Iran from having nuclear weapons.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
It is? Okay. Well, A, we didn't
Which
give them
Trump
trillions
did.
of dollars. And B, the reason why we unfroze billions of dollars that belonged to Iran in one of their bank accounts in South Korea was a part of a deal to ensure that they don't and will never have nukes that Trump pulled us out of. So not only does your argument show how the Democrats, like Obama, were truly American first, but it also shows how Trump is America last. Because of preventing them from having nukes is America first, greenlighting them to build nukes is America last, and Donald Trump greenlit Iran to build and construct nuclear weapons when he pulled us out of the JCPOA.
Yeah, but he's trying to keep us safe from nukes and stuff.
How can you say that he's trying to keep us safe from nukes and stuff when he was literally the president that greenlit Iran to further construct their nuclear weapons?
Because, like, what he did was a great thing.
So
Because-
wait. So now you're not American first. You already conceded that it's America first to prevent them from having nukes. But now that you have, now you think Donald Trump greenlighting them to build nukes is great. So you just said that being America last is a great thing in accordance with your own logic. Not even
He's
my
putting-
logic, your logic.
He's putting America first because he's saving Americans.
Oh, so
Because-
now you're contradicting yourself and you possess zero brain cells. You already agreed that it puts America first to prevent Iran from having nukes, right?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
the
So
rest of the
obviously,
world, yeah.
when Donald Trump greenlit them to build nukes, that was the polar opposite of preventing them from having nukes. And what is the polar opposite of something that's American first? American last.
Yeah, which Joe Biden did.
No, that's what Trump did. That's what Trump did. He greenlit them to build nukes when he pulled us out of the JCPOA in 2018.
Oh, yeah. And Kamala Harris also.
Kamala is
opened the
how you
border.
pronounce her name.
Kamala opened the border.
Well, we're
which-
not going to allow you to
that-
pivot. We're not going to allow you to pivot, man. We're not going to allow you to pivot until you address your own logic head on. You said it's American first to prevent Iran from having nukes. Donald Trump greenlights them to build nukes. Polar opposite of preventing them from having nukes. If it's the polar opposite of America first, what does that mean? What does it make it?
Dude, okay, we're talking about.
Answer my question. What is the polar opposite of America first?
America last.
Okay, so when Donald Trump greenlit them to construct nukes, which was the polar opposite of the American first policy of preventing them from having nukes, was that an example of Donald Trump putting this country last?
No.
Okay,
He's putting us first.
explain to me the logic. How doing something which is the polar opposite of an American first policy is not an example of putting America last. Explain that to me.
Because he was helping Israel and America out.
How is he helping Israel and America out when he greenlit them to
Because,
build nukes? I thought that you already said that preventing them from building nukes is helping us out. So
because
how
he's
could
get-
greenlighting them to build nukes also help us out?
because
Explain to me how preventing them from having nukes helps America and greenlighting them to build nukes helps America. That's a contradiction.
he took out all the nuclear sites. He took out
You're
all the
you're
nuclear
not
sites
responding to what I'm talking
prevent
about.
a
We're talking
nuclear
about
bomb.
2018 when he pulled us
Oh
out of the
my
JCPOA.
gosh, this
We're talking
kid,
about
dude.
2018 when he pulled us out of the JCPOA. You said preventing them from having nukes puts this country first, and apparently pulling us out of that agreement, which greenlit them to build nukes, also put this country first. Do you understand how stupid you sound?
Gosh, dude, this kid, bro. I mean, come on. And Harris freaking let millions of immigrants in here or illegals in here.
Harris has nothing to do with the question I asked you. Stop
She
the
opened the
deflections.
borders. She
Stop the
opened-
deflections. Here's your deflection.
He opened the borders.
Here's your deflection. Throw it out the window. Here's your deflection. Set it aside. Here's your deflection. Put it in the mouth and swallow it whole. Okay? Do anything with that deflection rather than presenting it to me on live as an argument. Okay? Because I want you to respond to the last argument I gave you. Specifically, the argument where you conceded that preventing Iran from having nukes is an American first policy that benefits our country. But apparently, you also think that Donald Trump was putting this country first when he did the opposite of preventing them from having nukes, which was greenlighting them to build nukes by pulling us out of JCPOA in 2018. Respond to that argument, please.
Yeah, and he put B-2 bombers on the nuclear sites to prevent it.
Putting B-2 bombers in 2025 in Iran does not concern him pulling us out of the JCPOA in 2018. Another deflection, take it, throw it out the window, respond to the argument, please.
I just did.
No, 2025 has nothing to do with 2018, bud.
We're talking about him preventing nuclear bombs.
No, we're talking about how he greenlit them to build nukes when he pulled us out of the JCPOA in 2018. Keep up. I've only repeated it around 36 times.
This was my argument, though.
Your argument is about how you think preventing Iran from having nukes is putting America first. I'm giving you an example of when Donald Trump did the opposite of that in 2018. Respond to what Donald Trump did in 2018 and how that greenlit Iran to build nukes and how that put America last. I very specifically want you to acknowledge what he did in 2018. Acknowledge it. Respond to it.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad he greenlighted it.
So you're happy he did something that put this country last?
First, you mean?
So how does it put America first to greenlight Iran into building nukes?
Because why would we want Iran to have nukes?
That would be an explanation of why it puts America last. Because, dude, listen to what just transpired. Listen to what transpired. Listen to this shit. So you're happy he did something that put this country last?
First,
yeah.
you mean?
So how does it put America first to greenlight Iran into building nukes?
Because why would we want Iran to have nukes?
Dude. So you're happy he did something that put this country last?
First, you mean?
So how does it put America first to greenlight Iran into building nukes?
Because why would we want Iran to have nukes?
You laughed. Okay. Sorry, I bullied that guy into leaving. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. I've been good today. Okay. But he was just theological cultist. I had to show why he was wrong. He ended up leaving. Let's go get that next guest loaded into the box. We got Jim City Swag loading up in. What a flop, guys. What a flop. Welcome in. Jim City, do you support Trump?
I do, but before we get into that, I'm actually in college right now, and I'm taking a political course. And I thought, what better person to talk to than somebody who's on the opposite side of me, just to get their perspective on a certain topic. So I was curious as to what Child Predator's flavor is in their vape when you hit it. Like, I just didn't know what Child Predator vape flavors you guys use.
Why do you think I'm a child predator? That's a crazy accusation.
Wasn't that what you did when you put that guy in that hypothetical and then wanted to dox him for it? Like, isn't that, like, aren't you a predator? You made a video
What
about
what
it.
is the evidence that I'm a predator?
I don't know. Well, you're talking about it. I don't know. Is there evidence? I mean, you're the one that talked about it. You said
So
that people are calling you a predator.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
No, you weren't curious. You called me a child predator.
Well, yeah. Now, I mean, that's what people are calling you, right?
Yeah, it's what other people are calling me. That's what
Okay.
you're
Well, I was
calling
just
me.
curious. I didn't know if you wanted to defend it.
What? So why are you calling me that? Like, I'm a. So you understand the reasons why other people are calling me a predator is because I don't think parents have the right to sexually exploit their kids. Like, it makes me a child predator to say that parents can't sexually exploit their kids. That no, the exploitation of children is not a transaction that benefits the kids. That no, I don't think CP, child pornography. When I said that no, child pornography is not art. When somebody else said it is art, that made me a predator. See, he left. Of course he left. 5-second flop. These are the people. Everybody, by the way, just pointing that one out. Like, hey, chat. How many brain cells do you think were firing in that guy's head? See, a lot of people in the chat saying 0.2. You're being really fucking generous. Welcome in, Colton. Do you support Trump?
Yeah,
How old are you?
bitch.
Oh, calm down, buddy. Come on. What was that for, Colton? God, Colton, that was uncalled for. You're gonna make me scream, whine, and piss everywhere. Okay. All right, Colton left. Let's go and load up the next guest. Everyone just be patient. Do be patient while we get that next guest loaded into the stream. What's going on? Do you support Trump?
I was called a grapist by the MAGA cult today too. So, gang.
Are you a grapist?
Absolutely not. I
Oh,
was
so-
defending Trump's victims.
Oh, so you were defending Trump's victims and you got called a grapist?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't
Yes,
it crazy how they do that?
I can't lie, it pissed me off. I've been told not to let it, but I'm going through my own court case right now, so pretty triggering.
Especially as a victim. No, I understand that 110% myself. I haven't
I
talked
love
about
you,
this
Dane.
since
I'm
this
so
all started.
sorry.
And I'm
You
sorry.
don't deserve any of it.
And you don't either. You don't either.
you.
I'm really fucking. What happened to her? My multi-guest live access restricted again? Bro, what? Okay, we just got our live access rebanned. Okay, I actually do need to restart the stream after every time that happens in. Good to keep that in mind. I'm sorry that you just got kicked. Yeah, I got my live access taken away for harassment and bullying from that last guest. And it won't even let me appeal it. Oh my god. Oh my god. TikTok sucks. TikTok sucks. I'm going crazy. I'm losing my shit. I get a 3-day ban because somebody called me a child. Oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my good lord. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm tweaking. I'm losing my shit, chat. That's unreal. Oh man, holy crap, that's crazy. Anyways, that is some crazy work. That is some crazy work. Oh good lord. Oh good lord. Oh my god, yo, Lennon! Thank you so much for the Castle Fantasy. I really appreciate you so much for the love. Thank you, Lennon. Thank you so much. Thank you. Guys, show some love to Lennon down below in that comment section. Thank you so much, Lennon. That is so kind. That is so freaking kind of you, Lennon. Thank you so much. Huge shout out to Lennon. Thank you. Somebody in the chat says laughing manically through the pain. Dude, it's so crazy. It's just so absurd. It is so absurd. It makes me want to laugh my ass off. It's just how crazy that is. Dude, what? I get my live access restricted for 3 days because of that? Oh my god. Oh my god. And I can't even appeal the ban. It's glitching out and shit. What if I try to appeal it on my computer or something? I don't know. Maybe on the website? Maybe if I sign out and then sign back into the account? I don't know. Completely unreal. Yeah, we're gonna be on another account tomorrow. Hey, actually, this is a great opportunity. Everybody, huge announcement, huge announcement. So, I was talking to you guys about this a while back, and it looks like it is finally happening. So I got a streaming deal from a brand new streaming platform. They reached out to me. They're like, "Hey, we'd love for you to join our platform. Here's a deal." And it's not exclusive, meaning I wouldn't stop streaming on TikTok and YouTube and go over there. I would just also be streaming to this new platform. And a criteria of the agreement would also be that I would spend like an additional hour every day exclusively on their platform. And at the beginning, you know, I was like, well, it's a new platform. It's called Party. You know, it's, you know, like they have some figures on there that, you know, you guys probably don't like me neither. You know, the audience on there is definitely not this audience. But then I got to thinking, well, if a part of this deal is incentivizing me to do an additional hour on top of the 4 hours that I already stream, that sounds fun. Why? Because then I just have another hour to make content. So I have organized a content strategy to take advantage of this extra hour to film breaking news content, in-depth, nuanced reviews of things that are going on in American politics for the YouTube. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool. And then also, you know, like it's like we'll still be streaming every day as we already are for 4 hours on TikTok and YouTube. That's not going to change. It'll just also be the case that for that 4 hour stream, it'll just also be on Party. And I think that's a good thing. Because what's the audience like right now over on Party? Well, you could probably guess. You know, you got Josh Block over there. You got Sneeko over there. Take an idea of the audience over there. And who would it be better to plaster my content in these 4 hour debate streams in front of for 4 hours a day, apart from an audience like that? I don't know. I fail to see any cons. I fail to see any cons at all. So I think I think we're going to be doing that. What do you guys think? Plastering the content that I already make at no cost to anybody on a new platform with an audience that probably fucking needs to be exposed to liberalism, and then having an extra hour every day to film content, taking in-depth, nuanced reviews of what's going on in the media, of what's going on in politics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At no cost to anybody. You don't need to pay to watch me on Party. You don't need to pay to set up an account. I don't even know if you have to have an account just to watch. So, no cost to anybody. I like it. What do you guys think? Yeah? Very positive. Very positive reception in the chat. Cool. I'm so happy to see that you guys are on board with that. That's really fun. That's awesome. I'm really happy. I'm really happy to see that. You know, like I was worried about, like maybe some people being like, oh, Dean, you shouldn't do that because the people over there are like maybe a little crazy. Or, oh, Dean, like you're selling out. But the way I look at it is like those crazy people could probably use this content. No cost, only benefit to them. And I mean, the sellout, I'm just taking advantage of an awesome opportunity that has been put in my hands. And I don't know if that's a sellout. I'd say that the phrase sellout is stigmatized to be negative because we use that phrase to refer to people that trade off either their time that could be better spent or they falsely represent their values for monetary gain. But I wouldn't be falsely representing my values. I wouldn't be trading off any time that could be better spent. In fact, we would just be more focused on pumping out more content, doing more in-depth interviews, etc. So that's pretty cool. I like that. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Is it an app? I think they said that their app is going to be approved soon. And right now it's just a website. And even if you miss the streams on Party, I mean, you'll see it on YouTube. Because like I said, I want to syndicate the content I make on Party to YouTube. But it'd be super fun to have you guys over there. So, I don't know. Somebody in the chat says, what's the catch? Yeah, there is no catch. It's kind of why I'm doing it. T, thank you for the $10 saying, Dean, did you see Newsom's interview on Sean Ryan's show about how 71% of the US GDP comes from blue counties? Excited to see your future with streaming. Yeah, I didn't see the interview, but I do know that is a fact. Red counties and red states are funded by blue counties and blue states. So, okay, now we have people over in the YouTube saying there's always a catch. Well, I'm struggling to identify the catch. Maybe you guys could help me. I know, everybody's like, what's the catch? Is there ads? Oh, is there ads on like the streams? I don't know, let's see. I would assume not. I'd assume I'd have to turn that on.
Let's see though.
I just clicked on some random stream. No. No, it doesn't look like there's any ads. Something I'd have to turn on. Wouldn't turn on the ads though, so there's not a catch of ads like on the stream. Right, somebody in the chat is like, read that contract again. I know, right? Yeah, we gotta read that contract. More info for you. Yeah, there's ads on YouTube all the time. Yeah, there's ads over there. When will I start? We might start tomorrow. We might even start tomorrow. So that'd be cool. If we do start tomorrow, I mean, the only change that you'll see if you enjoy my content is just an hour of extra content where we're breaking down the news and going over more nuanced deep dives into policy and what's going on in our government. Will I stop the lives on TikTok? No. No, we'll still be doing our 4-hour stream every day on YouTube and TikTok. Yeah. It's pretty cool. What is it called? It's called Party with an I. Well, I think I did make my account over there. It's the same ad as my main TikTok. It's just @itsdean. DEAANN. Yes, please, a news segment. It'd be so helpful with analysis. Yeah, then I mean, I'm also thinking here that, you know, I could even like use that opportunity to like bring special guests on. You know, like I think that I've developed like a pretty extreme idea, or like a pretty extreme social, like a safety net almost of, you know, like notoriety on the internet. I could use that to like reach out to other creators and get them on. I don't know. Anyways, that's where we're at. Slimewell over on the YouTube. I'm going to investigate that. Thank you, Slimewell. All right, everybody. I don't know what to do. So it looks like we have another 22 minutes here before we hop off for the evening. And we are actually going to be doing a little bit of a fundraiser over on Parker's Live. So he's going to be popping on here in precisely 21 minutes. Let's see. I'm gonna actually shoot Parker over a call. Let's call the guy. Yo, what's going on, man? I'm live. I just got my ability to add and remove guests taken away from me. It won't even let me appeal the ban. And it's real shitty because, you know, we're right before what I was expecting to shoot you over right here in 20 minutes.
Oh, here, I can set it up right now.
Yeah, if
I'm
you
running upstairs right now. I just got back.
if you want to go live, I'd happily send you a raid. We could join up. We could even hop into things a little bit early.
All right, sounds good. Give me like 2 minutes. Can you get Matt on?
I'll shoot him a text. I'll see if Matt could join. Yeah.
All right, for sure.
And we'll just all go on your live stream since I don't have guest access.
All right, I got you, bro.
Cool. Talk soon, man.
All right, I'll see you.
Yeah. Take care, Parker. All right, we should be doing that soon. Super exciting. Super duper exciting. So yeah, we are going to be doing a fundraiser for one of our friends that has cancer and has had their health insurance deny them coverage for the treatment they need to extend their life and hopefully live, because the health insurance does not think that his life is worth it. We did a fundraiser for Adam a couple months ago because his meds are so expensive. And Adam has now run out of the expenditure of the money that we originally raised for medication. And Adam is still kicking it. And we want to do everything that we can do to fight for proper health insurance for our friend. We want Adam to live as long as possible and as happy as possible with everything that he needs. And health insurance disagrees. Health insurance thinks that his life is not worth it. It's an incredibly sad story that we hear over and over and over again happen to so many people. It's absolutely insane. I'm sure that Parker, we're also going to have Matt up there, going to go a little bit more in depth. Brian, this is a $2 super chat on YouTube, but I want to make sure that I read it out. Brian says, as of today, I'm no longer MAGA. Brian, as of today, you are on the right side of history, man. That recognition from you will be so meaningful to a future spouse, future children, future grandchildren. And you'll be able to say that you are on the right side of history. Anyways, we're still waiting for Parker to hop on. We'll be joining him shortly. Did Dean already do the Congo fundraiser? No, I haven't. I haven't. That should be like really fucking soon though. Let's see. Lakshay with the 10 Canadian dollars saying, "Hey Dean, as a person who likes to debate and wants to go down this path, any advice or suggestions for me who's an amateur? Also, I love what you do and hope you achieve everything you want." Yes, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is going to be practice. I think that a lot of people are very well researched on politics, are incredibly well researched on politics, but it is the practical application of that research in debates that makes you good at it. think about it like understanding the theory of how to throw a punch, or you're very well educated on how to fight. Well, the first time you're in a real fight, the theory is going to serve you more than somebody that doesn't have that knowledge. But without that real world practice, it's not going to take you very far. And the same thing can be said about debates. So you'll get more used to having confrontation with people, more used to having disagreements with people, more used to operating and thinking quick on your feet. And then also here, Annie, thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you so much, Annie. I actually just shot them a text about that. Skepticism is healthy, Annie. And then Matt with a $10 over on YouTube Super Chat for Adam. Matt, I'm going to cover you for that. I'm going to send that $10 to Adam. I got you. But for everybody else in the future, make sure that it's all going to the GoFundMe. You will know exactly where it is right now because we are about to go and raid Parker. So everybody watching, please head over to @ParkerGetARealJob on TikTok. @ParkerGetARealJob on TikTok. That's where we are going to be going. @ParkerGetARealJob on TikTok. Send a huge Dean raid over there. Also on YouTube, I'm going to be ending the YouTube stream. So everybody, send a huge raid over to @ParkerGetARealJob on TikTok. We're all going to be joining him right now. See you all very soon on @ParkerGetAJob on TikTok. Oh, and Wayne update? Dude, I still haven't heard back from Wayne. I'm still trying to get hold of him. There's your Wayne update. Anyways, let's head over to @ParkerGetAJob. See you all very soon. I'm going to go and end the streams on both TikTok and YouTube. See you all very, 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 very soon. Bye-bye.